Bob. Our guest is making me laugh before we get going today. Hey, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to an extra special middle of the day, at least on this side of the pond, Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay. What's happening now? My normal Vacaville host, Debbie, is not Vacaville Debbie today.
No, I am Great Wolf Lodge, Anaheim, California. When I got my bracelet, I got my ears. We're at a water park, and there's my brother.
We're always having fun.
Always having fun. Yeah, we did three days in Disneyland, and now we moved up the street to the water.
All right, so before we introduce our guest, let's hop right into it, shall we? Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different a different rum out of a different tiki mug, and I try and match him up to our guest. And speaking of our guest, well, according to the screen, he's called Cookie. Hey, Cookie.
Hello.
Whoa.
What's happening, Chris? Ladies and gentlemen, I love those glasses.
Like we got a yard sale.
That's crazy. Chris is from Manchester. That would be in England, and that would be across the pond. That's why we're on during the day today. So Chris didn't have to get up in the middle of the night. Now, it is the Tiki segment. So let me show you what I matched up with our guest. The first thing is the rum, and the rum is Pussers. And I picked Pussers because it says fish on the bottle.
Nice.
But it's made in the British West Indies. So there are rums being made in England. I don't have any yet. Hello, Chris. Hook me up. So that's that. And then I'm drinking out of an Ernest Hemingway mug. And you might think, what does an American author who spent most of his time in Key West have to do with the guest in England? Because the mug manufacturer is, I think, the one and only tiki mug manufacturer in all of the UK. Their names are Cheeky Tiki, and they make some kick-ass mugs.
Wow.
So big ups to Cheeky Tiki.
That's cool. Now, if I were drinking rum, it would be in this new Piranha tiki mug that we just got from Trader Sam's. And I picked this one because if I was to go visit you, I would be going over the ocean, and there's fish in the ocean.
This is a very tenuous link.
And what are you drinking, Chris?
Have you ever heard of this? It's called Aperol Spritz.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. It's one of my favorite drinks.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of Thrifty Business on this very special daytime episode. And, for nothing else, you gave me an excuse to daytime drink. So
like you need an excuse.
Hey, I don't drink. Not normally. All right, Chris, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we'll see you in a little bit. Just make sure you're not picking your nose.
Keep your clothes on.
Yeah, it'd be more fun if you took it off. All right, let's get right to it, because what time is it? It is time for our scores of the week. Debbie and I share cool stuff we sold this week. These are bolos. Be on the lookout. Things you should be hunting for while you're out and about thrifting.
Yes.
Go, Debbie.
Okay. Oh, righty. Well, the $300 price there, we actually accepted a best offer for half that because it had been listed quite well. And it's a really tiny little book. There was never any interest in at least a year. So when this guy made us an offer, he was that we accepted his offer. So it's a cool little book. Be on the lookout. It's very tiny. You would miss it.
That's kind of cool. How to Sin in Hollywood.
Yeah, there's other ones too. How to Sin, I think, in San Francisco and other cities too.
Jack Lord, like the Jack Lord actor from Hawaii Five-0, Jack Lord.
I'm not sure.
Because I have an autographed picture of Jack Lord. I'm gonna have to do a little research for your sale. I'm excited now.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I hated to part with this book. That previous book and this book are both consignments. This one sold very quickly for $179. Our friend Heather Worth also owns her own still sealed copy of one of these, but this is the coolest book. It's all postcards. So many things. I remember I came to Disneyland as a little girl, and I could see pictures of rides I went on that are no longer here. So that was a fabulous book. So keep an eye out for that when you're shopping. It's the first one I've ever seen. Roller skates. We got these down in Ventura about a year ago when we were shopping, and on the clearance rack for $250, and they finally sold for $49.99.
Nice.
Little kids skates. Cash flow. I love finding these. We just found this in Reno, and sold it for $50 pretty quickly right after getting it listed. So we also found the kids. So watch always for cash flow. You want to make sure all the parts are there, obviously. But that's a very popular game.
I've never heard of it, so it's in my database now.
Yeah, this is probably the 5th or 6th one I've sold since I've been looking for these over the years. The kids one too. You want to find cash flow for kids. That one hasn't sold yet, but we have that one, a new one sealed and up for about, I think, $100 or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you some nerd stuff. I always say pick up the nerd type stuff. This is a T-shirt for this specific video camera. The URS Pro Black Magic. I don't know. All I know is I always pick up anything that has to do with cameras or microphones or whatever. And so I sold this T-shirt, which I picked up for $1.99 for $27. And then along the same lines, I picked up this jacket for Maxell that, they make tapes, professional and audio video resources. So kind of a dorky like 90s jacket, but I got $54 for it. I paid $4.99 for it. So always pick up technology-based stuff like that. Speaking of technology-based, how about cassettes? How about a cassette movie, the soundtrack that came out last year? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Atomic Blonde starring Charlize Theron that came out in 2017. The cassette was a limited edition release for Urban Outfitters, sold out immediately. Found one at a record store, paid $50, sold it for, paid $5, $50, paid $5, sold it for like $32, and it went over to Europe.
Cool.
Now, I'm not going to tell you normally necessarily to look for the with La Hoochie Bluegrass Jamboree T-shirts, but what I will tell you, and actually the picture I actually wanted to show you is missing. This is back when eBay got rid of all our pictures by accident. This is a vintage late 80s made in the USA 50-50 shirt. People are looking for these 50-50 shirts. They're 50% polyester, 50% cotton, and the tag will say the words 50-50 on them too. So someone might have bought it because they went to this Bluegrass Jamboree in Dunhill, Florida. But a lot of people collect these vintage 50-50 shirts. So keep your eyes peeled for those.
Cool graphics.
And then I always like to share my CD sales of the week. Now, real quick, someone's saying, what is cassette with a K? That's because that cassette with a C was sold on eBay Germany. So eBay Germany switches it to their language. So cassette ends up with a K and not a C. All right, so my two big good CD sales for the last few days. This Main Street Electrical Parade CD from Disneyland I picked up for $3.99, sold for $39.
Wow.
And the Cecilia and Capano, they're a Hawaiian group, picked this up for $1.99 at Savers and sold it for $30. Now, pretty much every day or every other day, I sell at least one CD for $30 or more. And if you want to learn more about that, I have a really kick-ass webinar coming up on November 20th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, how to make lots of money selling used CDs. I'm going to teach you both what to look for, how to do it in the thrift stores, because thrift stores are crapshoots, but even more so how to do it in record stores, because record stores have very specific sections and makes it very easy to shop. And record stores think they know what they're doing, but they don't. I will routinely spend $500-600 at a record store, and I'll turn that into $2,500 in sales. So get signed up, go to registerfortheclass.com. And it'll probably be about a 90-minute webinar. Now, if you can't watch live, you can always watch after the fact as long as you're signed up before we go live. So get signed up if you want to learn more about CDs. I have made tons of money on CDs. I've probably sold in the last 18 years at least 150,000 different CDs.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a great class.
And I've sold CDs over 400, over 500, and I'm going to show you a lot that are over 1,000 too. So I know it's 2018. I know you can download. I know you can stream. I know you can rip. I know you can steal anything, but people still buy the collectible ones for sure. And no better time than right around Christmas to sell expensively ridiculous rare CDs.
Like I did last year for $125. Put 50 cents for it.
But not everything, Debbie. Not everything can be a winner.
Sadly, no.
Sometimes we have duds. These are our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. Things that we should not have purchased for one reason or another.
Yeah, this is not mine. Excuse me. Mine's identical. I had to get a picture off eBay. I bought this thinking, oh man, this is going to be great. That's the stealth and all that kind of stuff. And it's only worth, and it was in my profit pile. Pulled it out. It's worth $5. So what did I do? I messaged a friend that in town who worked on these. And as soon as I couldn't even finish my post hardly, and he said, I want that right now. He came over to our house immediately, and I didn't charge him for it. I said, it's yours, just take it. So it was a dud to me, but it was a dream to him. He's thrilled to have it.
Nice little bonus.
Yeah. Okay, aren't these cute? I think they're awesome. They're aprons. I picked up, I think 7 of them at the thrift store, and I think I paid about $1 or $2 each. They've been listed, I think I'm going on like 3 years, and finally one just sold. I think I took a best offer though of $15 on it just to get one going. So if you need an apron that says Wine Devil, come to my store. I have them.
Yeah, let me get rid of them, please. I'll take crazy deals here. I'll show the apron. There you go.
Yeah, I thought they were adorable. But
Wine Devil lovers. Now look, my whole theme of my house is hell and devil, the den of sin. But we don't
maybe
like
Stacy.
so
Stacy needs one. I'll send Stacy one.
yeah, someone's saying it doesn't look like an apron, but I've since clicked on it so you can see that it is in fact an apron.
Yeah.
All right. I actually made a mistake that I think an assistant did. They lightened this picture up too much. The reason this is a dud, I just sold it for $8.99, a Conor McGregor UFC shirt. They used the colors of the Irish flag, but the green is so dark you almost can't read it. So when I went to share this picture, I'm like, ah, crap, someone lined it up too much because that green is almost unreadable. So whoever made the shirt didn't make a good shirt. And I paid like $4 or $5 and I sold it for $9 free shipping. So
it happens.
Big loss. And then I don't know why I didn't do any research, but I'm like, oh, cool. Gizmo Gremlins. I paid like $3 or $4, but this is like one of them cheap shirts that's been licensed everywhere. Target, Kmart, Walmart, whatever. Yeah. So I was happy to get $12 with free shipping because I think it's new for like $14.99. So whoops.
Yeah.
All right. We also sell stuff. There it is. All over the world. Where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not using international shipping, you are leaving 7.3 billion potential customers out in the world. That is billion with a B. So you should be selling internationally.
Okay. This went to Ontario, Canada. And this is another one of those name mugs, that I talked about. So,
right. So this is a different one than last week?
I don't know. Is it? I think it is.
I think it is. I'm like, God, Deb.
I know I sold Judy, and I don't know. I just keep finding them. And I don't know. Maybe I goofed, but this one went to Ontario. So now, look for all these. They're all the names you could ever think of.
When Debbie sends me her information, I don't pre-look at it. I set stuff up, and then I add hers. And so I chuckled because guess where my item went? Yep, Ontario, Canada.
No way!
I went to a little place called Fonthill right outside Niagara Falls. But the reason I wanted to share this one is this is a Hawaiian shirt, and it was a uniform shirt from the El Cortez Casino here in Vegas, downtown on Fremont Street. So someone in Fonthill, Canada, needed an El Cortez Hawaiian shirt. So you never know where your stuff's going to go and who needs a Vegas Hawaiian shirt.
That's my favorite casino, 25-cent roulette, $1 minimum.
Yeah, I've not been back since they threw me out on. See, but that's a different story for a different day. Because now it's time for our Thrifty tip of the week. This segment is brought to you by Stamps.com. postage on demand. Print your own postage and ship labels in seconds, right from your own home. All you need is a computer, the internet, and a printer. These little tips and tricks to help you when you're out and about thrifting around.
Okay. Jason said this is not, is it kind of, it's a good tip, but it's been repeated several times. But always check out these racks. When people try on clothes and they don't fit, they hang them on the racks. I never check them. I just walk by them. But a friend of ours, Stephanie, who's doing the questions in chat, put your questions in and she'll copy and paste them to Jason. She found a really good selling dress off of this one time. And I look at it this way. Somebody liked that piece of clothing to try it on. That means somebody else somewhere might like it too. So always check all the racks, even when they're putting stuff out. I don't wait for them to hang them up. I go look at them right away because I want first dips on everything.
Yeah, yesterday or Monday was half off day here in Vegas at Savers, and I hadn't been in a while, and I was there for some looking at stuff. The go back racks were so plentiful. It's what's crazy to me, Deb, is more people trying stuff on half off day. Look, by half off day, that t-shirt's like $1 or $2. The jeans, $4. Just take it.
And they stand in line. The most lines you can stand in line for 45 minutes.
And at the dressing rooms in the Savers I was in, there was like 8 go back racks because they couldn't sort it and get it back on the rack fast enough and get them taken away. So I was just kind of leafing through and trying not to be in the way. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
All right. So here's my tip. Cranium makes a bunch of games, and the only one worth your time is Caribou. And I want to show you the solds here. These are used, so in the $40 to $60 range. Sealed, you'll get over $100 for it. But it's one of those games that has a lot of parts that you need for the game to work. So even if the game is in poor condition, and I think I can pay like $3 for this one, you need these cards, all 6 of these balls. If you don't have the balls, the game doesn't work. And if you don't have the key, the game doesn't work. So I paid $3 or $4 for the game. And what I didn't realize, because I looked at it and all the pieces were there, Deb, but what I didn't notice until I got home was the whole board's broke. See?
Oh, no. Oh, been there, done that.
But
now, can you sell the parts?
Now, the bonus is I have a second one that was missing 2 balls.
Oh.
Balls, but I still got 4 extra balls. I got extra cards, and I got an extra key. And you can usually get like $13 to $15 for just this key. So even if the game is broke, the board itself, pick it up just for the pieces parts, because these are all good money.
I'm glad you shared this, because I used to look for Caribou, maybe send them in FBA, and it seemed like the prices had dropped. So I just kind of been ignoring them. I'm going to start looking at them again. Yeah,
and like I said, the parts do well. We have a weekly or an ongoing things I'm hunting for thread in the thrifting board, and I was leafing through it a couple of weeks ago, and someone needed a key, and I had an extra key, so I sold them a key for like $10, $11.
Nice.
Yeah, they were all excited. All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping. Tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Okay, I don't know if you've noticed, there is we have our print off for packing slip that I always put in with my packages. But if I don't want the eBay part, because I'm real careful with media mail, no advertising. So there's another generic printing packing slip that we can print off, and they just changed how to get to it. You used to be able to go like, just follow the steps after the show, stop and follow them. You used to be able to just click that box there where it says shipped October 20th, and a whole bunch of stuff would pop up. Well, that's all changed. It's up at the top now. So you have to click the item you want to ship, click the shipping, then it opens up there and it says print shipping labels or invoices. Then the next step you'll see, click address labels, and then continue and print. So they changed this on us, but thankfully it was easy for me to figure out. So if you want to do any generic package slips, there you go.
Great tip. Now, mine is kind of what not to do, but also what to do. So a friend of mine, and actually ours, his name is Blair. He owns BG Reynolds syrups. And so he had a backer situation where we paid money, and he got his new syrups made. And when you paid money at certain levels, you get certain things. So I got some glassware, and I got the new syrup. So I got gardenia mix, honey mix, and Fashionola. And I called him. Blair and I are longtime friends. When all these items were in this box still wasn't full. It was a good 2 inches down where there wasn't enough peanuts. And the reason things get broken is because they have room to move. So luckily everything made it here, but I called Blair and I showed him, and he's going to have a little chit chat with his packer. So the tip for everyone here is make sure you fill your top to your box to the top, and actually a little more, because when you lock it in place, it holds it, not be too low. And these are good for the environment, peanuts that can dissolve, and so they squish real easily. So not only do they not have enough to begin with, as it moves around the country, they start to shrink up a little bit. So you really got to make sure you're packing it well, especially when you're a whole box of glass. Oh no, we just lost Debbie. Oh no. Oh no. Come back, Debbie, come back. All right. I guess I will kick off the next one then. Time for our eBay tips of the week. Hi, Debbie. Are you back? Debbie?
Yeah, I think I was frozen. I wasn't seeing what you were talking. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you and I hear you. All right, we're up to eBay tips. You're up.
Okay, this was a cool thing that I just found out about. You know, when somebody messaged you and said, hey, will you take $20 for this? You reply with offer. And I did one, but I had no clue when it was ending and I couldn't put it on vacation. So I found out that if you could see this link, you know, pause the show afterwards and copy that all down. And after that last back tag hash mark, put your transaction number there and it pops up and it tells you exactly how much time is left. So I could see I had 2 hours and 4 minutes left on that offer. They never took it. So I was able to put it on vacation with the rest of my items. So sometimes you're curious how much time is left on this offer. And that's how you can find it.
That's awesome. So we need to pop that into the group too.
Yeah.
I love that tip. All right. So my eBay tip is when you're selling Halloween masks, which by this point, if you have any left, you're probably SOL at this point. But I have a mannequin with a head. And so I bought this Stewie head. And it looks so much better on the mannequin with a head because this is the angle right here. Looks so much better. Now, because the Stewie head was so big, my assistant did stuff it up a little bit just to give it a little more shape. But it was way better on the mannequin than just like sitting on a table or something. So if you're going to sell, hats and sunglasses for sure, but even masks, Halloween masks, use your mannequin head, or if you happen to have a mannequin with a head. See, what I would have done, Deb, I just realized this. I would have, because my arms are articulate, I would have had her put the arms up and just like went like, ah.
Yeah.
You know, even make it funnier. But this sold pretty quick. So I liked how my assistant did it on the mannequin head.
That's cool.
Oh, all right. I am. Yeah, there we go. Hang on a sec. I don't even know what we'll do. This one for our viewer tip. Ta-da! All right. Every week we share with you a viewer tip of the week.
Yes, this one is thank you to Diana Berryman. She actually made this little photo for us. Double check your tape measures because they stretch, and see, she's got all these together and they're off. So if you measure a garment or even a bracelet, when you get down to the 1/4 inches and the 1/8 inches, it can really make a difference. So you want to double check that your tape measure is really accurate. You might want to check it next to a ruler or find something that you know is 12 inches exactly and double check your tape measures, or you might get some returns and some items not as described.
Yeah, the one tape measure that was shared, it gets a 1/2 inch by 11 inches. A half inch off. I'm saying my words backwards. A 1/2 inch off by 11 inches. I have never thought in 47.5 years to check my measuring tape to see if it's accurate. Right. But how many of us have inaccurate measuring tapes now? Now you got to kind of check them against a couple things.
And a lot of us use the little round tape measures. We get them as swag. You know, I've heard too, it could be China made or whatever. They may not be accurate. And we're just using them thinking we're on, and nope, we're not. So yeah, double check.
So crazy to think that you'd have to check that, but you do. You absolutely do. All right. Coming up next Thursday, which is November 1st, right, Deb? Yep, November 1st. We have a special guest for a special reason. We're not. Are we not sharing it at all? Totally show.
No, they have to come and find out what it's all about.
So Jeff is an online seller. Jeff took one of my classes not too long ago. But Jeff does something else in the month of October. You can probably figure it out a little bit from that tip. But the day November 1st will be his first day off. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that might give you a little bit of clues there. Fun guy.
Speaking of November and classes, I'm actually heading home next week to Cleveland for my Cleveland class. I'll actually be doing the show from my mom's office because I get off the plane in the late afternoon. If anyone else is looking to sign up for November 2nd and 3rd, 2nd is a Friday. That is our In the Thrift Store class day. We go section by section. I teach you all the good stuff to pull out. The nice thing is I've been talking to the thrift stores ahead of time. I get to go in an hour before the store opens, an hour before the class gets there. So I can start prepping the sections. Excuse me. So when the class gets there, it's not stand around and watch Jason work the CD section. It's stand there and listen to Jason teach the CD section because I've got them all pulled and ready to rock and roll. And then November 3rd is the classroom class. We spend about 4.5 hours teaching everything from what to be buying in the thrift store, how to write quality listings, how to take quality photos, how to use social media to push people towards your products, how to ship, how to understand every priority box, what specialty arbitrage is, all kinds of good stuff. So go down to classwithjason.com, get signed up. And if you're having to be in the Miami Lauderdale area, the last class of the year is on the last weekend of November, first weekend of December in the Miami Lauderdale area. Again, same setup. We'll be doing 2 days of classes and we'll be having fun. We also hang out at a tiki bar in between each class. I mean, not in between each class, but Friday after the class and after lunch, we go hang out at the tiki bar for happy hour. We'll be doing that in Cleveland and we'll be doing it in Fort Lauderdale also.
Nice. Can I add one thing before we introduce our guest?
Yes.
Some of you may have noticed a couple of weeks ago we did this show and I in error said that we get a shipping coupon for eBay store owners to buy free supplies with once a month. No, it's once a quarter. I goofed and when I heard the show playback, I went, oops, so I wanted to clarify that. Those coupons come out once a quarter.
And I was so busy doing things with the show, I never caught it because I usually would have heard that and been like, hey. And I was just like, hey, great tip.
I know why. That's when you went down. Your side went off, and you said take it from here, and I'm like, and then I go and mess that up. Sorry, but I wanted to clarify that.
Oh, and speaking of next week, it's gonna be a really weird situation. Not only will I be at my mom's house, Debbie will be here in my office, and so I'm trying to quickly teach Debbie and Stacy how to run the show because my internet is 100 times faster than my mother's internet. And she has the fastest you can get out in the country. So I think it's going to be better if the show starts from here, even though I'll be in Cleveland. So it should be a fun and unique and different show. Debbie will be in my office. I'll be in my mom's office.
And it just happened that I'm going to be in Vegas.
I know.
We didn't plan this.
So weird. So weird. So, but enough about next week's guest. Let's get on to this week's guest because he is one of my favorite YouTubers. Oops.
Is he gone?
No, he's not gone, but it's not letting me turn him on. Like it doesn't even look like he's turned off.
I love that clown picture of you.
Chris, I assume you can hear me. So Chris, what I need you to do is hop out and just come back in. The controls are not letting me unlock you. So do we have a question? Stephanie just sent me a little thing.
Oh.
All right, so Chris went away. Now Chris is in Manchester, England. For those of you who turned in a little bit late, that's why we're doing the daytime show today. Hey, there he is! Yay! I don't know what happened there.
I'm back.
Let me officially bring you in here. Hey, everybody! It's Chris Hayden from Manchester, England. Manchester, England. Hey, buddy.
You all right? How's it going?
What's happening, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
So you joined my group a while back, and you said, "Hey, I've got these. I'm doing these YouTube videos. I'm called Car Boot Chris. I watch your videos, and they're great. They're a ton of fun, and you have this great knowledge of pop culture. And so I wanted to have you on because of that. And you and I just hung out recently during your honeymoon, and I didn't know of your former career until Debbie showed me the show notes." And then I went and watched some other YouTube videos starring you. You've had a 2 YouTube career, 2 different careers.
I know.
So this is Chris's first set of YouTube videos. Oops, nope. Whoops, I have my order out of. Who is this gentleman? Now this isn't a Halloween costume, is it?
No, that's me. That's me in a former life. Yeah. Giving people advice how to stay safe.
So how long were you a police officer?
About 13 years.
And growing up, did you want to be a police officer, or was that just something you're like, yeah, I'll give this a whirl?
Nah, I was just looking for a career, and that popped up, so I applied for it, and there you go, 13 years later.
And how did they end up making you the face of YouTube videos about being safe?
Well, we came up with an idea because part of my job was to do community work, and we came up with an idea to create some YouTube videos because YouTube was really growing at the time. You're talking like 5-6 years ago, and it was becoming a big medium, and it was a good way to get across to the communities about how to stay safe. So yeah, we came up with the idea. We approached like the police media team, and they liked it. So we did a series of about 20 videos.
And when Debbie popped this in the chat, I hadn't read the notes, and I thought, what is this video she's got in here? Because I didn't watch it yet. But I'm like, she must have put something wrong in our group. I'm like, what the hell? And then finally she was like, yeah, his safety videos. And I'm like, his what? And then I'm like, oh, is that what that video is? So I went down the rabbit hole of watching you give safety tips last night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this one. And telling kids not to talk to strangers and take candy.
Yeah. That's really good.
So you're a police officer, or is it officially called a Bobby? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, probably more down south in London, they probably call it that. But you're police officer, really.
As the chat is saying, hot fuzz.
Yeah.
So what made you say, okay, that's enough of that?
It got quite stressful, to be honest. It was a stress thing, and I'd kind of had enough, needed a change, and yeah, so I called it a day. It was a big decision, don't get me wrong, but it was the right decision.
And your current wife, who we'll talk about in a second, did she know you during this time, or did she meet you after this time?
Well, I was her boss in the cops.
Oh, did you catch that, Debbie? He was her boss.
She's a PCS. Well, she still is a PCSO, which means that she's a police community support officer, and I was a police officer. So I was in charge of her sort of activities and stuff. So yeah, that's how we met.
And so you said, "Marry me," and then that was the end of it.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh.
All right, so you had enough of the stressful lifestyle. So you thought, what's less stress? Oh, I know. I'll sell things online.
Yeah, well, I've been kind of doing it for about over 10 years probably, but then doing it properly for the last 3 years as a business. And we started off sort of making packages of films and movie figures and pop culture stuff, like gift packs. We were selling them on Facebook and Shopify. And then we realized actually people just want to buy single items. They don't always want a package. So that's when we shifted over to eBay.
And what, boy, getting old sucks. I had a good question and I went,
I was going to ask
Yeah, go ahead, Deb.
Tell us what you used to tie your bundles together with.
Oh, movie reel. So we bought a load of actual real movie reel, and we chopped it up and created ribbons out of it. It looked really good, to be honest, and we did sell quite a lot, like locally though, not a lot sort of online. It just didn't work as an online thing.
And how long were you selling those before you're like, yeah, I got to take a turn here? It's good, but it's not great. How long were you doing that?
Probably about a year. We had 2 decent Christmases out of it, because after that it just goes dead.
So you went from police officer Chris to car boot Chris. Now, for those who don't know, and I know because I've been to a couple, what's a car boot?
Well, it's like a big public sort of flea market, like what you might have over there, flea market, and people can sell their own stuff and book a place at this public market. And traditionally, a car boot sale is where you actually sell stuff out of the back of your car. So you set a table up, you open your boot or your, trunk?
Trunk, yeah.
Open your trunk up and sell stuff literally out the back of your car, hence the word car boot sale. But now there's lots of car boot sales that are indoors. So you have a table indoors, sell your stuff and make a bit of money.
Nice.
All right, so I got a car boot.
So you can set up anywhere you want.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just like side of the road. I got a sale. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, that you do get stuff like that. You don't really get like yard sales and garage sales here in the UK. Not many anyway. But there is something called a jumble trail, which actually they've just actually finished trading, but there's a lot of people still doing it. And it's basically an area where lots of people do garage sales and yard sales all at the same time, all on the same day. And they create a map so that you can make your way around this map in the area and go to loads of them in one day, like maybe 100 even in one day, which is really good.
Wow, Deb, 100 in a day. That would be pretty epic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The last one I did,
yes. I wanted to ask you too.
The last one I did, I got around about 60.
Yeah, you must be young because I'm too old to do 60 in a day anymore. So we're going to ask him, Deb?
I wanted to ask, you donated a part of your body to someone. Can you tell us about that?
Ooh, wait, let's play the guessing game in the chat. What part of Chris's body has been donated? Bow chicka bow wow. Oh. So what do you think Chris had donated? Is it an eyeball? Is it an earlobe? Tentacle, maybe.
I just think this is so special, so I wanted to honor him and thank him for doing it.
So a lot of kidney guesses. Liver, Broctine, what is that, Tara? Brocanti in France. Victoria Hughes just hit it. So why don't you tell us what you donated, Chris?
Yeah, so I donated my stem cells.
Oh, sorry. Stem cells. She said bone marrow. Not even close. My bad.
Well, no.
It's very, very similar, but it comes out of your bone marrow. So what I had to do was I had to have an operation because there's 2 ways that you can take your stem cells. You can do it like a blood transfusion, which takes about 4 or 5 hours, or you can have a full-blown operation, which you go under general anesthetic, and they go into your bone marrow and they take it out of that. That is the better way because it's a better quality that comes out. And that is the way that I had to do it. So I had to have an operation and I spent a couple of days in hospital. But yeah, so the person, all I know about them is that they are 16 years old. It's a girl in America, and that's it.
That's sweet.
So what made you want to do that specifically? Like, what did something happen in your life to someone you know or love, or did you just say, hey, I want to give of myself? You know, what made you do that?
Well, it was about 5 years ago. I was actually in the police, and there was a police officer who needed a stem cell transfusion. and they put out a plea to all officers if anyone wanted to put themselves on the register, just in case. I mean, the chances of any of us being a match was like 1 in a million, but they did this little drive, so I went on it and heard nothing. I wasn't a match for that person, unfortunately, but 5 years later, I just out of the blue, I got an email from the charity and it said, well, you might be a match for somebody, and it went from there.
Awesome.
Now, do you think you ever want to meet her, or especially when she becomes of age, can you meet her? Do you want to meet her?
You have to wait 2 years before you can even attempt to initiate any sort of face-to-face contact. But I have sent a letter to them.
That is so sweet that you did that. So generous.
Yeah, I mean,
for a stranger, and we all should probably be signed up for that.
Yeah, definitely, I think so.
My wife gave blood.
Because your body obviously replaces.
What was that? You broke up there, Debbie.
Your body would replace what you gave out, right? And your bone marrow will recreate.
Yeah, it takes, I think it's 4 to 8 weeks for it to regenerate. So I had like about a week's recovery, but then I was kind of tired for about 3 or 4 weeks, a little bit more tired than normal. But that was it. I mean, it's nothing really, is it?
Right, be honest, you were tired for 2 weeks and you just stretched it to 3 or 4 weeks. You're like, honey, I gave of my bone marrow. I'm tired. Will you make me a sandwich?
Yeah. Annabelle, come on.
Oh.
All right. Well, speaking of your honey, luckily you married someone who has the same kind of love of pop culture and taste you, because here is your wedding picture. I thought I did it good when we met. We wore matching plaid Converse All-Stars. That was way back 100 years ago, but this is a whole next level. So is this what was your theme here, Chris?
Have you put the picture up?
Yeah. You don't see it?
No. Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a Walking Dead wedding. This is my friend as well, who featured in the wedding.
Oh, I mean, hang on. Let me kick you back up on the big screen. Hold on a sec. Yeah, that's awesome. Is that who married you?
I love it. She's got a knife.
Now, when you decided to do the Walking Dead wedding, I don't know who married you, a preacher, justice of the peace. Were they cool with it right from the get-go, or did you have to talk them into it?
They were okay with the theory behind it when we booked the wedding, but it was a bit weird on the day because we'd not met the people who were marrying us, and they were a little bit apprehensive about it.
Well, what do you mean? Apprehensive about a whole wedding party being bloody?
They were just looking on, sort of thinking, what are these people doing?
Yeah, you did well, sir, because that's awesome, and to find someone that shares the same love is always a bonus. I lucked out that when Stacy and I decided to switch into like the whole tiki lifestyle, she was right there with me the whole way. So, because we have got we have friends in the tiki world that the spouse hates it. They don't go to the events. They have to have most of the house not tiki. It's so nice when you're with someone that has the same love and excitement for the things you enjoy. Makes it so much funner.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm very lucky in that respect.
And so you guys came over here for your honeymoon. You hung out with us.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We had a fun time at Frankie's, didn't we?
Yeah, it's good.
Until next morning, right?
Yeah, no, it was not good at all. Yeah.
Chris enjoyed Frankie's a little much.
The strongest cocktails I've ever had in my life. I don't actually ever want to go in a tiki bar again.
Oh no! I thought when I come back to Europe, we'd hang out at tiki bars.
Drink lots of water. That's the key.
Yeah. But we that was like 24 hours. We literally just got there that day. We'd not slept or anything. That did not help, and we probably not slept properly either.
But I was leaving, right? So we had to do it like right then because I was on the road. And so we didn't. That was our only moment to hang out. So you were like, "Let's do it." Hey, there's a great question in the chat. Did your wife buy a new dress to put blood on, or did she thrift it?
It's a brand new dress, but it wasn't an expensive one. Don't worry.
It wasn't like a $3,000 Vera Wang, and you're like, "I'm gonna slash this up here."
No. It was a relatively cheap dress, but you wouldn't know it was cheap. It was really, really nice.
She's beautiful, even with that blood on her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, you've got the serious look, and you can tell she's trying to stifle a smile.
Well, there's quite a lot of other photographs in that series that you've got there where she's just laughing.
Yeah, and you guys are a great couple. I wish we had more time to spend together, but I am grateful that we had some time to spend together. So
thank you for meeting us. It's really nice.
All right, so let's hear about your love of pop culture, because we're going to share some of your scores here in a minute, but we can all see behind you a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff in here. A lot of Walking Dead stuff, because I'm a big Walking Dead fan. There's loads of figures. I collect anything, sort of movies, TV figures. Let's have a look over here.
Oh, nice Slimer. I like that Slimer. Oh, I see Alf.
Alf. A big gizmo. That's a real big one. When I found that, I only paid about £1 for it. That big gizmo, and he's worth quite a lot. And I just refused to sell him. And then over there, a few more bits.
Nice Swedish Chef. I see Walter White.
That's money in the bank someday.
No shit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Now, is there any part of it that she doesn't care for that you're like, but honey, this is awesome?
No, I think she's just she gets into it like me. I mean, initially when I first started doing all the car booting and buying and stuff, she wasn't that bothered, but it came along a few times and she started finding stuff herself. And so you kind of get a bit hooked when you find something good and it's worth a bit of money. The only thing is, as everyone knows, it's a bummer when you got to list it all, because it's horrible listing stuff.
That's when you need an assistant to do it for you. Tell me what you watch your movies on. How big is your screen that you watch your movies on?
Well, considering we don't have a big house, because we're not rich or anything like that, but this is our movie room. And just excuse all the crap in here, because this is stuff from America that I bought that I'm selling. But then if I turn around, that is our screen.
Whoa. 125 inches. Wow.
Yeah, it's massive.
Man, thrift hunters must look amazing on that.
Yeah. But the problem is that I've got a real dilemma, because if I want to grow my eBay business any more than maybe another 100 listings than what I've got now, then this room is going to have to be my business room, my storeroom.
Yeah, you have to go to the movie theater to watch your movies then.
Yep.
Well, I go there as well, but it's a real dilemma.
Now you also have.
Go ahead, Deb.
You also have a full-time job in addition to eBay, right?
Yeah.
You have a full-time job in addition to eBay.
I only do eBay on a part-time basis, so I probably dedicate about 20 hours a week on eBay, maybe a bit more actually. So I do work full-time as well. I work for a charity.
Nice.
And what?
Are you hoping one day to be full-time eBay?
It'd be nice. At some point in the future, maybe I would make a slow transition and sort of drop a day and do an extra day on eBay or something like that. But I'm just a bit too scared to go full-time eBay because of that security of having the money coming in.
Yeah, and you have a great job. You help a lot of people, it sounds like.
So what do you think of the difference between American thrifting and Europe thrifting?
Well, I thought the Goodwills were just amazing. I mean, we bought so much stuff in Goodwills. We had to buy an extra suitcase to come back with, and we had to pay an extra fee for the suitcase. And Annabelle, she got loads of stuff for herself as well. But But every Goodwill we went into, the next one was bigger than the last one, and they're just so big. I mean, compared to our charity shops, our charity shops are tiny. Literally, you can walk in and out in five minutes. But Goodwill, you kind of get a bit overwhelmed with it all.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Savers
Have
I
you
was
ever-
at on Monday, I was there 2.5 hours and I didn't even scratch the surface. I just had to go because I had other shit to do. And you're right, because I've been in the charity shops in and around London, and I was like, yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff in there, but yeah, it's like, and I'm done. I've seen it all.
Chris, have you ever considered looking for items that are local to you that we don't get in the US? Like items that are made in the UK or special things that people in the US might want to buy from you?
Possibly, yeah. I do look for the odd thing like that. But I only ship international using GSP.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that GSP was available outside the US.
Right. Yeah. It's the only way I do it. It's just it's so much easier just to use GSP, and I know that the options available to people when they're buying are vastly reduced. In return, like the shipping costs are massive, but I just think the security that it offers is good.
And I think it depends on the price point too. If it's not expensive, then I don't use it. But if really expensive items, I use it.
And do you have a culture of, and I don't even know this, do you have apps like we have OfferUp and 5 Mile and Let Go, local selling apps? So instead of just using eBay, I'll meet you at the corner kind of thing?
There's not many. There's There's Facebook Marketplace is probably the main one. But it's an absolute pain in the ass, to be honest, Facebook Marketplace. There's so many people let you down or they mess you about. Yeah. I've very rarely list on it because it's such a pain. Yeah, but there's not that many sort of other local ones. Like in the States, there's loads, but there's not much for us here.
Yeah, I just did a speech on it at Ecom Chicago, and I'm actually expanding on it and doing it as a webinar for the Secret Beach next week. And you're right. A lot of them are flakes. So the little tip I'm going to be given next week, but I'll say right now too, is we always meet them at the local grocery store, because here's how we grocery shop in real life every day. We never go buy groceries for the week. And so whether they blow us off or not, I got to go anyway. So I figured, if they show up, cool, a little extra money. If not, I'm standing in front of the grocery store. I'll go in and get my groceries for the day.
Plus, you do something else at the grocery stores while you're there too, right?
Yeah, I do, but I ain't telling that right now. That's a little secret.
Okay.
All right, let's look at let's look at some of your recent scores here. And since we're talking about pop culture, let's go right to a Nike jacket. Nothing pop culture at all, really.
Where are you? Are you on?
I got the Nike USA jacket up.
Yeah. Yeah. This was my biggest sale ever on eBay. It cost me £4, and so that's a massive markup. I did do a video on this one particular item because I was that chuffed that I'd actually managed to find this thing. But when I say I'd managed, and Annabelle's watching upstairs now, she actually found it.
Good job.
You don't let me forget it, you see. But we were lucky because this thing was hanging on the back of a car at a car boot sale, and it was late in the day because we'd already been to a couple, and it was still there and nobody had picked up on it. So this is actually a podium worn Olympic jacket.
Wow.
When they get the medals, they go up in this jacket. And there was a very, very limited run made for general sale, and I don't know how it's ended up at a boot sale here in the UK, but it was there and we got a bit lucky. But I reckon I could have got a bit more for it, apart from a mark on the front, which had a very, very small mark on the front, a little black mark which I couldn't get off. So I might have been able to get about $4.50 for it if I hadn't have had that mark on it, but still got to be happy with that.
Yeah, Deb, I would love to know how it got to a car boot sale.
I want to know who wore it.
Who wore it? How did it get there? Like, I love when you get things you're like, how is this here? Why is
and it
it
explains
here?
It explains being a medium because the athletes are all fit and small, you know.
Yeah.
All right, now we're talking. What is this?
It's a Japanese anime plush. Now I don't know much about anime, but I do know that most of it is worth good money. So I bought 4 of these, and it cost me 15 quid for 4. All different ones. But I just took a chance on it because I know that I have sold some sort of anime stuff before, and yeah, it sold relatively quickly, but I still have got the others on. I do sell a lot of plush toys, by the way.
Now, you wanted me to show a sold of this, but the link doesn't work anymore. So tell us a little bit about these plush.
Yeah, this is Dinosaur King. Every time I find Dinosaur King, it sells mega fast. So if you see any of these, just buy them, and the bigger the better. So the bigger ones worth more, obviously, than the smaller ones. That one at the bottom, which the name of it, I can't remember the name, but the yellow one, he's the most common, and then the red one second, and then the other 2. So if you ever see the 2 on either side, I'd suggest that they're probably worth good money, even more than the others. I sold a big yellow one, sort of about that size. I don't know if you can. It was probably about 24 inches, something like that. I sold one of them for about 45 quid, and it cost me about £2. But they sell mega fast.
Nice.
All right, sticking in the same theme of
look out for those.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Jurassic World.
I let this one go way too cheaply. If you look at these now, you could probably get £60-70 for them. But I tend to sort of go middle of the road on when I look at the prices. So I don't know, maybe I just got a bit unlucky, if you like. But it did only cost me 2 quid, so is it really unlucky?
True. Yeah, you made nice profit margin. So
yeah, any Jurassic Park stuff is good.
And then we'll go from pop culture to 1954 telephone.
Yeah. This
Go ahead. That was just Debbie's nieces.
It was room service. I'm like, no.
Oh.
I have this thing where when I go to a sale, I try to get something that I've never done before, or I've never sold before, or I know nothing about, and do a little bit of research and learn about stuff as I go along. And this was one of them, and it cost me 35 quid, which is a lot of money for me to spend on one item. I know Jason says he spends 50 quid on a CD. Well, I would have a heart attack if I spent that amount of money on a CD. But I guess if you know what you're doing, then that's fine. But I just took a chance on this. I did a little bit of research while I was actually at the stall talking to the people. And indications were about 100 quid. So I just took a chance. And it was fun trying it out because it worked and it was great. It was like going back in time.
So someone in the chat wants to know what a quid is.
Oh, sorry. A pound, £1.
Is quid just another name for a pound?
Yeah, basically, like you say buck instead of dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same as that.
And Deb, we had another good question in the chat. Do you have any other friends that do eBay that live near you? Is it a common thing, or are you kind of the one guy who does it of your crew?
Great question.
I don't have any other friends that do it. No.
Hey, now I'm your friend. Wait a minute.
Well,
just kidding.
Obviously.
Just kidding. Yeah.
I'm your new friend.
No, I don't really have any other friends because you know what? It sounds easy, but it takes a lot of dedication and getting up at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning to go to a car boot sale. There's not many people that will do that.
True.
Yep, I got up at 6 for the estate sale today, so I understand. I understand.
Is this whole phone big? Is the whole phone Bakelite or just like parts of it?
I think it's the whole thing.
That is awesome. Wow, that's cool. Okay.
It's really nice. It's really good.
All right, like us though, they can't all be winners.
No.
So
What happened with this Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah, it's just crap in it. I bought a few of these. I bought a few.
Cute.
Yeah, I mean, there's still money to be made on them, but not a lot. Just, yeah, it was too mass produced.
And that will happen from time to time. So you had that, and oh, wait a minute, I guess. Oh, there we go. Oh, the Queen is not a winner. What?
No.
Oops.
You've got to really, really know what you're doing when you're buying royal family stuff. And there's certain celebrations and birthdays and centenaries that are worth something, and there's some that aren't. And I bought a massive lot of these. I mean, they were only £1 each, but they just look at the price that I've ended up having to sell them for, $4.99, plus shipping on top. So I'm literally making nothing out of it.
Oh.
Never mind.
So I'm going to ask a real political question, which is not my norm. So living where you live, when you guys decided to go back to the pound to get rid of the euro, was that good for you, bad for you, indifferent?
Say that again. You were just like a Dalek there.
When you guys switched out of using the euro and went back to the pound, was that a good thing for you or a bad thing or indifferent?
We've never used the euro.
Well, you didn't?
No.
So what was the whole Brexit thing? What was all that then?
Brexit's all about being part of the European Union.
Oh, I thought you guys used the euro. Oh, my bad.
No.
Never mind. Ignore my stupid question then. That was dumb. Sorry.
It's all right. At least
Nope.
it was.
So Angela says she found you on Twitter. Do you use any other social media? So tell us, we'll finish out. Tell us a little bit about the whole Car Boot Chris series on YouTube and wherever else people can find you.
Well, yeah, if you search me, if you search Car Boot Chris on YouTube, you'll find loads of videos on there. Pretty much every video that comes up will be mine if you search that terminology. So I do videos mainly on like hauls and picks, like what I've found at a car boot, what I paid for it, what I expect to get for it. And then sometimes I'll do videos on like the best sales, like top 10 sales in a month, and show you what I paid and what I actually sold them for. That's mainly what I do. And sometimes I do the odd thing that's a bit different. But also I'm on Twitter. So if you search Car Boot Chris, you'll probably find me on there. And I'm on Instagram as well.
And I forgot we had one more dud, but it's a dud for a specific reason. So I didn't want to just skip it because it's kind of a good lesson.
Yeah, definitely. This is, and you learn all the time, don't you, when you do this kind of stuff. But this really rare comic, I sold it pretty quick for quite a decent amount of money, considering I've literally had less than £1 in it. So it was all sealed up really nice, and I sent it without opening it up, thinking I shouldn't open it. And I got a message as soon as it arrived saying that when they opened it, one of the back corners was bent. And that's like a big no-no in the comic world because it knocks your rating down like half or 1 or whatever. So obviously that could have been a bit of dodginess from the buyer, but I have to trust that what he told me was correct. So I accepted the return, of course, and took it on the chin. So I've had to reduce the price a lot on that.
But you should still get a good amount based on what you paid for. You just had a deal in return because you didn't look at all the pages and you didn't know. So like Debbie does a lot of books. I know she leaves through all the pages because she's looking for pen marks and highlights and shit like that. So, but I've been there too. I've forgotten to look into things. Like I had my assistant do a listing for a Disney thing the other day with batteries. I never opened the battery thing to make sure it worked. Not only does it not work, the batteries are corroded and ruin the whole thing. So wasted time taking photos and starting to write the listing. I just had to go throw in the dumps in the trash. I'm like, screw it. I ain't going to work on it now. Yeah. Well, I got this. I think this was our first daytime show I've ever had. So I got to say it was awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
It was,
brilliant.
It was so much fun because I love seeing all your pop culture stuff. I love watching your videos. Chris pops them into the group when he does them, but obviously just head over to YouTube and look up Car Boot Chris and give him a follow. And if you haven't given me a follow, give me a follow and click the thumbs up down below. And if you've never subscribed to me or Chris or anyone on YouTube, when you subscribe, there's a little bell. Click on that bell. It will give you the indication to let you know when the people you subscribe to are live. So if you don't see the post, you'll be like, it'll tell you, hey, Jason's live, or hey, Car Boot Chris is live. So make sure to do that. And speaking of live, tomorrow, Secret Beach webinar, all about pirate ship. So tune into that. And then Sunday, Mom and me will be on for selling past the expiration, being thrifty over 50. And I think we're going to talk to newbies. Now, I don't want veterans not to tune in because every time I have a veteran seller in my class, they always learn a bunch of new stuff. So, but we're going to kind of, we've been hanging out with a lot of newbies. So we're going to do a little bit like how to turn your computer on, it's kind of stuff like that. So we're going to go over some basic tips and tricks, and hopefully anyone who tunes in will be like, I didn't know that. So that's what we're shooting for on Sunday. So with that, Chris, what time is it there?
9:05.
All right. Well, enjoy your evening. Thanks for joining us today for our very special overseas thrifty business. And we'll definitely see you around YouTube. Debbie, enjoy Anaheim.
Thank you.
And everyone else, have a wonderful day. And if you're in Anna Hill's group, which is, what's it called? Accounting Shenanigans? What the hell's it called? Shoot. I'm going live in her group. Accounting We Will Go. If you're in Accounting We Will Go, I'll be going live with Anna in 24 minutes talking about eBay and accounting and stuff. So head over there.
Ooh, good.
Head over to Accounting We Will Go, and you'll see me and Anna shooting the breeze about that kind of stuff. With that, I will say goodbye, good afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Bye.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Bye-bye.